Have you ever heard of someone being harassed by an HOA? Not because they broke any real law, but simply because of the color of their skin. If not, then sit down. Because the story I'm about to tell will make you both angry and laugh at how absurd it is. Welcome to Color is Not a Crime. Here we tell real stories. Real lives touched by prejudice and injustice. To show one thing clearly, skin color is never a crime. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share so more people can know these stories. I was born and raised in a hardworking family. My grandfather, a humble black man, spent his entire life laboring to buy this piece of land, a lakeside house, peaceful, where he could fish after a long day. Later, my father took over, and then it was passed down to me. That lake wasn't just water, it was family history. It was where 3 generations of black men in my family had sat side by side, casting their fishing lines into the shimmering sunset water. I used to think it was only wind, splashing fish, and laughter. Nobody could ever take those memories from me. Until Karen showed up. Karen was the name that made everyone in the neighborhood shudder. Freshly elected as HOA president, she quickly showed her talents, arrogant, controlling, and most of all, with a peculiar, judgmental look whenever she glanced at me. That day, I was sitting by the lake, casually fishing like any other day. Karen approached. The sound of her high heels striking the ground felt like a drum announcing an oncoming storm. "Are you the owner of this house?" Her shrill voice carried both disdain and arrogance. I nodded politely. "Yes, my family has lived here for 3 generations." Karen raised an eyebrow, scanning me from head to toe, her eyes lingering long on my skin. A smirk curled at the corner of her lips. "Oh, surprising. I didn't think someone like you would own a lakeside property like this. Usually, well, you know, places this nice don't belong to your kind." I froze. "What do you mean by that?" Karen waved her hand, feigning sweetness. "Oh, just facts, don't misunderstand me. I'm the new HOA president. From now on, I manage everything around this lake. If you fish here without a permit from the HOA, it's illegal." I chuckled, trying to stay calm. "Sorry, but this lake is private family property. The HOA has no authority here." Karen tilted her head, narrowing her eyes. "Are you sure? You'd better get used to following the rules. Honestly, what's stranger is how you even inherited such valuable property. Was it some government handout?" My blood boiled. She was clearly implying that as a black man, I didn't deserve to own this. I shot back firmly. "You've crossed the line, Karen. Don't bring your prejudice here." Karen sneered. "Oh, I'm just doing my job. And if you want to live peacefully here, you'd better know your place." Then she turned, strutting away, leaving me choking with anger. From that moment, I knew my peaceful life by the lake was over. Karen had fired the first shot. She wouldn't stop at just throwing slurs. This was only the opening move of a war one never asked for, but now had to fight. The next morning, I opened my mailbox. A bright yellow slip fluttered out with bold letters, "HOA violation, fine $500. I laughed. A violation? I never signed up for the HOA, never agreed to their rules. I read carefully. The grass in your yard is 0.5 inches taller than HOA standards. This causes neighborhood disunity. My lawn had been mowed last week. Perfectly neat. Ridiculous. 2 days later, another slip. Your car was parked improperly, blocking the road view. HOA fine, $750. Nonsense. My car was always in the garage. By now it was obvious. Karen was targeting me. That evening I walked my dog. Karen was chatting with neighbors. As soon as she saw me, she lowered her voice. But just enough for me to hear. He thinks he belongs here, fishing like he owns the place. We all know people like him could never afford a house like that. Something shady is going on. Some neighbors nodded. Others stayed silent, avoiding my gaze. Their silence stung worse than her words. I pulled my dog away, burning with rage. This wasn't just about fines anymore. This was open racism. The next week, my mailbox became a fine printer. Your door color doesn't match community aesthetics. Your lake attracts wildlife, posing danger to residents. Your laughter on Friday was too loud, disturbing the peace. I burst out laughing. I lived alone. There were no parties. Karen was inventing violations just to paint me as a problem. One afternoon, a thick packet arrived. A new regulation. Every household must submit proof of property ownership. Families must provide income records, job details, and legal papers. Obviously, this was Corinne's law. It was designed to target me. I called the HOA office. The secretary stammered, "Well, this is the president's new rule. We can't really stop it." Corinne snatched the phone, her voice dripping venom. "You'd better cooperate. Unless you're hiding something? Or are you afraid we'll uncover the truth?" I snapped. "The only thing I'm afraid of is your ignorance and racism." Corinne laughed coldly. "You'll regret that. This neighborhood isn't for people of your level." Over the next days, neighbors started avoiding me. People who once waved now crossed the street. Some stayed quiet when Corinne spat her venom. Only Linda, an elderly woman 2 houses down, whispered to me, "I'm sorry for what Karen's doing. People are scared. They don't dare speak up. Please be careful." I grabbed one and nearly laughed. The reasons were absurd. Hosting illegal parties disturbing neighborhood peace. Using the lake for unauthorized fish trade. And the most outrageous, illegal residency. Suspected fraudulent property documents. I shook my head, thinking, when they hate your skin color, they can invent any story. That day, I went to the local store. The moment I stepped inside, I felt stares burning into me. A woman whispered to her friend, "They say he's into drugs. That's how he could afford that house." I turned around and stared at them. They quickly looked down, pretending to shop. I knew exactly where the rumor came from. Karen. That evening I heard voices outside. Karen stood among neighbors, declaring loudly, "We must keep this community safe. If we let people like him stay, everyone is at risk." Who knows how he really got that lake? Some nodded. Others stayed silent. I stood there, replying coldly, "Say whatever you want, Karen. The truth doesn't change just because you shout louder." Karen smirked. "We'll see. This community has no place for liars. And for those who don't know their place." Her poisonous words clenched my fists. Within a week, the HOA announced a new bylaw. All households must submit property source documents within 30 days. Failure to comply could result in legal investigation. Everyone whispered. But in the HOA's mass email, Karen singled me out. Some households lack clarity in ownership. For example, the lakeside house. I was furious. Karen escalated. She had large red violation posters printed and plastered around my house. Each read in bold, "Illegal residence, stolen lake property." Kids ran by, laughing, pointing. "Hey, is your house stolen?" It wasn't the child's words that hurt. It was knowing Karen had poisoned their minds. That night, a loud knock. On my porch lay a box. Inside, a rope tied into a noose. A note read, "Some people never belong here. Leave before you're forced out." My hands shook with rage. This wasn't just racism. This was a death threat. I called the police. When they arrived, Corinne appeared sweet as honey. "Oh, we've heard he has mental problems. Maybe he put that box himself. The officer looked at me awkwardly. Karen knew how to play the innocent white woman card. At the next HOA meeting, I showed up. Karen pointed right at me. There, he's the one. He's stealing the lake, endangering us all. I stepped forward. This house, this lake, are my family's inheritance, legally documented. The only danger here is your lies and racism. Karen's face flushed red. She screamed, "How dare you? You should be grateful to live here. People like you. We're never welcome in communities like this." The room went silent. I answered word by word. Color is not a crime. I left the room in silence, but I knew Karen wouldn't stop. She had gone too far, and worse was yet to come. That night, I was watching TV when a pounding knock rattled my door. I opened it to find 3 men in yellow vests, black caps, cheap plastic badges clipped to their shirts reading Inspector. One barked, "We're authorized by the HOA and law enforcement to inspect your property. Cooperate." I crossed my arms, scanning them. "Authorized? You look more like pyramid salesmen than inspectors." Another snapped, "You can't refuse. This is an inspection order. Resist, and we'll use force." I laughed. An inspection order on smudged printer paper, with typos, may be good enough to fool kids. Not me. I pulled out my phone, recording. The 3 exchanged nervous looks and backed off toward the gate. "We'll be back. Next time you won't get away." The next day, Karen returned, this time with a small army. About 10 people in yellow vests. She stood at my gate, voice shrill and triumphant. "Today we enforce HOA, a property seizure. This man has violated countless rules, refused to pay fines, and illegally occupies community land. From this moment, his house and lake belong to the HOA." I stepped out calmly. "Karen, you have no authority here. This is my family's property, with legal proof." Karen sneered, leaned in close, whispering just loud enough for her followers. "Paper won't save you. Don't you get it? Black men like you never deserve land this valuable. This is our neighborhood. You're an outsider." My blood boiled, but I held back. One wrong move, and she'd paint me as the aggressive black man. I stared into her eyes. "Color is not a crime." Karen waved. Her crew marched into my yard, snapping pictures, scribbling nonsense. One plastered a red sign on my door. "Sealed HOA property." I dialed the police, speaking loudly. "Yes, emergency. A group impersonating officials has invaded my property. I have video evidence." Karen shrieked, "Call whoever you want. This community will never accept you. I'll do whatever it takes to drive you out. Because your skin color taints this neighborhood." Gasps rippled through the gathered crowd. Phones rose, recording. Minutes later, flashing lights filled my driveway. Karen raised her hand proudly, like she had summoned backup. "Officers. He's the criminal. Arrest him now." I stepped forward calmly. "Officers, this group has impersonated inspectors, trespassed, and issued fake fines. I have cameras and documents." They also shouted racial threats, telling me I don't belong here because of my skin color. I handed over the pile of fake violation slips. One officer frowned, turning to Karen. "Can you explain why the HOA issued invalid documents with fake seals?" Karen sputtered, then screamed, "He's lying. People like him don't deserve to be here. I'm the president. I have authority." The officer turned to the vest-wearing crew. "Papers? Who authorized you?" They mumbled, silent. "Drop your clipboards." The officer ordered. Cuffs clicked. Karen shrieked, thrashing, "You fools! I'm the only one protecting this neighborhood from garbage." The officer's face hardened. "Impersonating law enforcement is a crime. And your racial remarks? Enough motive for harassment charges." You have the right to remain silent. The metallic snap of handcuffs echoed. Karen's shrieks filled the street. Neighbors whispered, phones recording. Karen screamed as they shoved her into the car. This isn't over. I'll be back. People like you will never belong. But the cruiser door slammed shut, cutting her off. Her reign was over. The sound of the police car door slamming echoed through the neighborhood. For a moment, the crowd was silent. Then, whispers and the glow of raised phones filled the street. Everyone had captured it. Karen, the mighty HOA queen, handcuffed and screaming. A young neighbor whispered, "Wow, I knew she was annoying, but this is insane." Another woman uploaded a video with the caption, "HO, a Karen arrested for impersonation and racist harassment. #color is not a crime." Within hours, the clip went viral. Comments flooded in. Serves her right. I can't believe someone would say that out loud in 2025. Respect to the homeowner. Calm and strong. The next day, local news ran the headline, HOA president arrested for harassment and racist intimidation. Karen's name spread like wildfire. HOA and board members scrambled. Statements rolled out. The HOA does not condone harassment or discrimination. Karen has been permanently removed from her position. But it was too late. Online, Karen had already become a meme. Sheriff Karen, self-proclaimed cop of the lake. Queen of HOA chaos, she hadn't just lost her position. She had lost her dignity. A week later, I sat by the lake again. The water sparkled, the breeze was calm, my dog snored at my feet. For the first time in months, peace had returned. I cast my line, remembering my grandfather's words. You can't control others' prejudice, but you can control how you face it. He was right. I hadn't let Karen steal my peace or my family's legacy. Some neighbors approached, sheepish. We should have spoken up sooner. You didn't deserve that. I nodded. The important thing is you see it now. Let's not let another Karen spread hate again. This isn't just about an HOA gone mad. It's about prejudice. About the idea that skin color decides worth. But today, I'm still here, in my home, by my family's lake, to say one truth. Color is not a crime. The right to live in peace, to own property, to be respected, it belongs to all of us. If this story made you angry, comment below. Did Karen get what she deserved? Have you ever witnessed or experienced discrimination like this? Share your story. Let's speak up together. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for Color is Not a Crime. Every story, every share is a small step toward ending prejudice. Thank you for listening.